do not just take a cursory glance at the attendance sheet 5 minutes before the class starts. The lack of preparation will definitely show. Considering the nature and the higher cost of ticket lessons, it's more important than ever to make sure that we use the students' time in the best way possible. Now, of course, there's always going to be the times when you will get ticket lessons, sometimes at the last minute, sometimes the day you walk into the school, someone says, oh, you have a ticket lesson today. There's not really much you can do about that except try to be as prepared as you can. And I think nobody can sort of, fault you for anything like that. Though. The last one here is Memoirs of a Sensei. Upon finishing a class with a ticket student, it's extremely important to make detailed notes for that day. It's always important to fill out the attendance sheets, but again, the simple fact that you may not see this student ever again makes it, I think, even more so important, because you're not going to be there to remember, oh, this is what we talked about last time, this is what we did, this is what they had troubles with. So you really need to convey all of those pieces of information to that next teacher. Even with free conversation students, I'm sure at least most of us have maybe followed another teacher and seen something along these lines where it says, right? It's like, what is that? Free conversation? Well, that's great. I have no idea what you talked about for 50 minutes. And so you could go in there and just start talking about the same stuff that they've already talked about. Which is just, for some students, occasionally they don't mind that. But we want to obviously keep it kind of a fresh experience for them, especially if they're high enough level that they're doing only free conversation. So it's really important to make as many detailed notes as you can. I know it seems strange. I've gotten into the habit now where my students are used to it, where as they talk, I'll just very casually write stuff down. And at first they kind of aren't sure what I'm writing down, and I think after a while they just realize I'm just trying to basically keep track of what we talked about. It also, for example, if there are times when your notes should extend even to the next teacher's lesson. If there's some point that the student had problems with, and you think, okay, this person really needs to continue working on this, in the next box, basically, it goes to here. Right, so we have our attendance sheet. So this is mine here. Then even here, you put a little star and you say, please, review whatever prepositions. All right, just like that. And you don't put the date in or anything. And ideally, the teacher will sort of understand that that's meant for them, basically, and to try and plan for that in advance. Even if the class, sorry. Yeah, that's fine, actually. For all of these pieces of advice here, this is more for sort of the general ticket lesson, where there's no particular timeline specified, there's not really a specific goal, it's just a matter that this person's schedule can't be accommodated by a weekly lesson, so they have to come whenever they can come. Now, there are the few times when you're going to be given students, ticket lesson students, that have predefined goals and timelines. And what we're going to do today is just a very, very kind of small activity of how we can perhaps try to plan for these classes. Now, one of the things that this does is that it puts the onus on you as a teacher and you as the individual teacher to really sort of take up that task and say, okay, I know this student is only going to be here for X amount of lessons. I know that they want to do this. They want to pass an exam for their work so they can get a promotion, or whatever the case may be. Knowing those pieces of information is to then go through what they have, because obviously it's usually a shorter amount of time, and they can't complete the whole textbook. There's no way they're ever going to be able to. So rather than even try to do that, or rather just go sequentially through it, what you can do is go through it and start sifting out, okay, what are the things that are most useful for them. This student, who cares that, what color is her dress? This student doesn't need that, but they might need to know about making dates and plans and places and stuff like that. So let's focus on those things. And so basically, it is a lot of work at first, but in the end, it's going to improve the lesson for the student and also improve your lesson planning for yourself and for the other teachers as well. So what we're going to do is that I've kind of have two case examples here. I'm going to erase this here. And what we'll do is I'm going to get you to be in two teams. I guess you can do 3 there, and I'll get you guys to do 3. So what we're going to do, basically, is very, very sort of rough idea. What I've done is that predominantly most of our ticket lessons tend to be in the interchange series and tend to be focused on interchange 1 and 2. Now, in the front of these books, I've also printed out the sort of table of contents of these, which gives little summaries of what each unit entails. And so what I'm going to do is that maybe this team here, your case student would be an adult woman, and she is beginner to low level.
I thought you were black. It's just a joke.
Total of 18 tickets, but she does 2 a week. Okay, so it'll be only a total of 9 weeks.
Beginner needs an R at the end.
Thank you very much. Okay. And her goal is that she's going to be working at a Japanese inn where there are a number of foreign guests that come through. Okay. And the second group here, 2 sisters. Now, these are actually based on actual classes that I had, where I had to basically plan a set of ticket lessons for these particular students. Low to, high school, low to mid, 4 months, but number of lessons are not specified. Okay. And they will be moving to the U.S. because their father's job. So they're moving to the U.S. and going into high school there.
San Francisco.
Sorry?
San Francisco?
No, but San Mateo, I think it's called. It's like, maybe you
Yeah,
might.
I taught them.
Yeah, okay, so you remember them, right? Yeah. So basically what we have here is that we have these, so what I want you to do is, unfortunately probably my time is running really low, but just go through, and if you want to like sort of look through, sorry?
5 minutes.
5? Oh, 5, okay. Just look through, and I guess for right now, I mean, in a real situation, what you do is first go through the table of contents, look at which parts you think might be good, and then within that, look at the individual unit and take parts of that unit. You don't have to necessarily do the whole unit if you think, only parts 1, 3, and 4 are really good, but the rest of it we can trash. And again, you can sort of decide that. So take about 3 minutes, and at the very least, just go through and try to decide which units and stuff that you think would be good for your particular case. Students, okay? And please discuss as a group. And then after we're going to discuss and sort of see why you chose those things.
Okay, can we write this down?